Well, there's a new push to learn what really happened at the U.S. consulate in Benghazi last fall. 700 special ops veterans signing a letter to Congress demanding a select committee look into the September 11th attacks that killed 4 Americans, including our ambassador to Libya. It reads in part, quote, "The families of those slain in Benghazi, our servicemen and women around the globe, and the American public deserve the truth, not the lies, misdirection, and stonewalling coming from President Obama." Pretty strong words. Lieutenant General Jerry Boykin is one of the vets who signed that letter. He was an original member of the U.S. Army Delta Force and later commanded the Army's Green Berets. Thank you so much for being with us. Those are strong words, as I said. Do you really think this administration is lying and misdirecting and covering up?
Well, first of all, the objective of our letter is not to go after the administration. It's to get accountability and to get the truth out. Now, I think anybody that looks objectively at what we've heard so far would tell you that this has the earmarks of being a cover-up. There is much more to be known about this that has not yet come out, and I think that we can see that there is some attempt here not to allow the facts to be made public.
General, there are 16 questions that all of you would like to be answered. I sifted through them, and they're all great questions. It's astonishing that there are 16 plus subdivision questions that haven't been answered yet. Let's put up on the screen, though, some of the ones that popped out at me. Why was there no military response? Why have the survivors not been questioned? Who are they? Where are they? Who was in the White House Situation Room during the attack for 8 long hours? Who gave the order to stand down that was heard repeatedly during the attacks? General, these are fundamental questions. Are you just disheartened that we don't have the answers to these questions, and it's been 7 months?
Yeah, Greg, listen, these 700 people spent their military careers preparing for and executing missions to rescue Americans or to at least recover their bodies, and we as a group are appalled at the fact that our Congress has yet to ask these questions that we put in that letter. These are fundamental to understanding what happened in Benghazi, to providing accountability, and to being able to provide information to these families.
Fox News has reported in the past that at least 3 times these men under fire were begging for help, and yet there was an order to stand down. How can you make sense of that, sir?
Well, we can't. You see, we know the history of how special operations was created and how it was placed in every theater with what we call commander-in-chief in extremis forces, forces that are there to be able to respond to a situation that is exactly like what happened in Benghazi. And these forces have been there for 2 decades. There were multiple capabilities in the Mediterranean and the European theater that were there to help in a situation in Africa. And the best we can tell, none of those were directed to respond to this, and there has to be some answer as to why not. Was it a military failure, or was it a leadership failure at the national level? That's what we want to know.
Yeah. Do you also want to know where the president was? After all, there was apparently, reportedly, real-time coverage of the attack for 8 hours in various venues in Washington, Pentagon, White House, other locations. Do you want to know where the president was and what his role was?
We want to know where the president was, as well as every other person in a position of authority and responsibility, to include the military commanders as well. We think that's absolutely fundamental to understanding what actually occurred and why it occurred the way it did in Benghazi.
Lieutenant General Boykin, who is one of the vets who signed that letter, 700 of them, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Greg.